father was with Joseph. That's why he was prospering where he was. That's why he was prospering where he was prior to that. And then now, the cupbearer was restored, was pardoned, but didn't remember that Joseph was ever interpreted the dream or asked him to remember him so that he could either go back to Isaac or at least be restored to his former way of life, which before he went to prison. He was in charge back then and he's in charge now, but do you think he would have a better time being in charge of Potiphar's home, or do you think he'd have a better time being in charge of these prisoners that he's in charge of? I think he's kind of done with that. You know, and is there analogy with that? Do you think Jesus would rather rule over people enslaved to sin or people who were not enslaved to sin, people who were delivered, people who were pardoned? So that's the end of chapter 40, guys. And I don't see any commentary, any comments. I was hoping to, maybe get some people to engage with me, on this Facebook Live. And so I think I have enough for me to make my charting, and that's really ideal for me. And I would ask my audience if there was any more that you would like for me to read. I mean, that was the end of chapter 40. It goes to 41. I would have been willing to read. I'd skip ahead and read any chapter between 41 and 50, and I would be willing to go even as far as 645. But seeing that I don't have an audience here, I think what I'm going to do is end it for this evening, and I'll try to post some more videos for you guys to enjoy. It seems like people have been enjoying some of the shorter videos that I post, so I can continue to do that. But when I'm doing these lives, it doesn't seem like people are enjoying this as much. And then so I may not do another live until let's see, we're in December now. January I'm going to be doing my journaling. I'm going to be focusing more on journaling. And then February, at the end of February, I may wait all the way until the end of February to do my third live. Okay, and then in January, February, March, I'm going to work on my journaling. And when I work on my journaling in March, I hope to introduce some more comprehensible material and start doing things that are really creative, that's based on the comparison of my first scheduled event, this scheduled event, and then the scheduled event that I'm going to do toward the end of February. So those will be my three. Once I have those three, I can start to do comparisons. And then I can show you all the different directions that we can shoot off from then. And then if I were to go and do a fourth scheduled event, it could be in a completely different place. It could be loaded up with a lot of creativity. There's a lot of things that I could show you after having three examples. I hope for more participation. And maybe when I'm finished with that third example, even if I don't get very many people to view it, I'll try again one more time to see if I can get anybody's participation on the fourth one, which should be really exciting. The third one should be similar to this, but we're going to measure any improvement that I make. But in the fourth one, instead of measuring improvement and progress, we're going to use the progress that we've seen and then project where we can go from that. Because now we're seeing patterns of my voice developing, patterns of my character developing. We're going to start to see areas of maturity that is authentically springing up that I can't see right now. I can't see it until I have those three to measure. So the fourth one won't be really about measuring, but it'll be about using what we're going to talk about this next month. It'll be using the common language between the three. By charting all three of those, I'm going to show you how it starts to create common language. Now, when that common language takes off, it can be really exciting and creative. Okay, which if we're following the pattern that I'm presenting, it would bring us into a rich dialogue. Now that means that there's going to be people interacting with the common language that's being built within the four scheduled events. And if there's not a lot of engagement, then I won't be able to actually show how the dialogue works, because it's not a one-man show. Once you get to the dialogue, you're having live interactions that's based on the common language that you developed, within the four charting cycles. I won't say the four examples. You only need the three examples. And the fourth time you're going to develop common language. That's not necessary. You don't need an example for that, really. I mean, I could show you, how I'm piecing it together, show you an example of what that common language would look like. But then from that common language, it opens up to 5, which is dialogue. Now, I have my common language. You have the way you're looking at it. You're seeing the development from the first 3 cycles. Fourth, you're developing your common language. I'm developing my common language. When both of those common languages, and we'll talk about this for the whole next month, when both of those common languages are interacting, it's going to create dialogue, rich dialogue. And that dialogue can begin to be journaled along linear points of references, like a timeline.